All right, well, I want to welcome Vice President Pence to Florida and thank him for his leadership. I also want to thank our Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez and Scott Rivkees, our State Surgeon General, for their efforts. This was like in early January when they were both working on it. We were monitoring what was going on and have been at it for a while, and they've been really working hard, so I want to thank them. I also want to thank the President and the Vice President for taking really bold action pretty early on when this was starting to really become a problem in China. They issued travel restrictions, which I think have had the effect of really inhibiting the spread of the coronavirus in the United States. I think that's the type of leadership that we want to see, and I really appreciate the Vice President being willing to meet with us. We have some, I think talking to folks in Florida, they have some concerns about, I told the Vice President, the testing. We've been able to manage it. Everything goes to the CDC and back, but to the extent this becomes more of a problem, we want to be able to do local testing, and I know they're working on that. And then making sure that we have enough of masks, gowns, goggles. Now, we have stockpiled some at the state level, but again, in a surge situation, I think a lot of states are going to want to be able to have some flexibility. And then finally, I think when you have somebody who may be monitored and they're in, say, self-isolation, most people are very willing to do that, but some people live paycheck to paycheck, so we have the ability to be able to help with some of that loss of income. But again, as the numbers get bigger, having a federal supplemental, we'd be able to have some flexibility with that, would make a huge difference. And so I know the Vice President, as a former governor, hears that loud and clear. So I want to again thank you for coming, and thanks for all the hard work that you guys are putting in on this.
Thank you, Governor. Governor DeSantis, thank you so much for making time for this discussion about Florida's efforts at preparedness as we, as a nation, deal with the coronavirus. About a day and a half ago, the President asked me to lead the White House effort on coronavirus, and I can assure you that we're going to work very closely with Florida, with states across this country. Because as you said, Governor, I serve as Vice President now, but as a Governor of Indiana, I came to appreciate the vital importance of partnership in dealing with infectious diseases and health issues. And being here today with you, having an opportunity not only to be with you and the Lieutenant Governor, but with your State Surgeon General, I trust is reflective of President Trump's commitment to work in strong partnership with state leaders, local leaders across this country. I'm also pleased to be joined by our Surgeon General, Jerome Adams, and by the Assistant Surgeon General, Stephen Redd. Admiral Redd actually serves as our principal liaison for state preparedness at the CDC in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm grateful for your efforts here today. In the days that have passed this week, I've had the opportunity to speak with a number of governors around the country, beginning with governors that have been working with us, monitoring individuals at airports. At the present moment, as I learned yesterday at our White House Corona Task Force meeting, we've screened 47,000 people through airports around the country. In my conversations with the governor of New York, the governor of California, we expressed our gratitude to them and to other governors in states that have been participating in a great partnership in this effort. But Governor, I want to thank you. Florida is a destination not just for Americans, but from people around the world. And your efforts at preparedness here are to be commended. And I want to assure you, as we work with leaders in the Congress on a federal supplemental bill, we're going to make sure that not only does HHS, CDC, Homeland Security, and other agencies have the resources they need for whatever may come, we're going to make sure that states like Florida and your local health officials have the resources to be able to be prepared for any eventuality, and in the event that this virus spreads more broadly, that the states are able to be compensated for your efforts. But let me just say, I know you know the President well, and so you would know President Donald Trump has no higher priority than the health and safety of the American people. It is the reason why, as the governor said, the President took unprecedented action in January to declare a public health emergency, to suspend travel to the United States from China, from all non-citizens or non-legal residents. And it's why the President instituted an unprecedented quarantining effort for Americans that were returning. I'm happy to report to you that we've had 15 cases across the United States today of coronavirus. We'd gone 2 weeks without a new case before the California case came to our attention in recent days. And beyond that, there are 46 other cases that are Americans that have returned to the United States, gone through quarantine. But I'm happy to tell you that in every case, people are being treated and by all accounts are doing well. We have one American who's still in the hospital and being treated, but our primary focus here is on individuals that have been impacted by the coronavirus in the United States. As Dr. Fauci told me yesterday at the White House Coronavirus Task Force, once again, the truth is that we would be in a very different place if President Trump hadn't taken the unprecedented action of suspending travel from China. And as we'll meet again today with the Coronavirus Task Force, we're going to continue to discuss other possible changes in travel status for the United States. I look forward to speaking with you, Governor, about that. But the President's made it clear that our objective is to be ready. This is an all-hands-on-deck effort, and we're not only going to make sure that the resources are there, but that the President has the broadest range of options presented before him to keep the American people safe from this virus. I'm very pleased with the collaboration with states around the country and with, frankly, political leaders in both parties in the Congress of the United States. I've spoken to the Republican and Democrat leadership and assured them that we're going to work together as Americans to deal with the coronavirus in this country. But I want to conclude by saying to the people of Florida that according to our health experts, the threat of the coronavirus spreading in the United States remains low. But people of this country can be assured that we're ready. We're ready for any eventuality. And for anyone interested in best practices, ways to protect yourself or your family or your community, you can visit cdc.gov, where we're putting the latest information on our federal government's efforts. But as the President said, Governor, we're all in this together. I'm grateful for your time, Lieutenant Governor's time, your willingness to break from your schedule in a busy legislative session to update us on your efforts here or the unique needs that you face here in Florida. But we're going to continue to work this as Americans, and I want to thank you for making time for us today.
Okay,
and
thank
for
you,
your
Press.
leadership.
Happy to do it.
Thank you, Press. Let's go. Yeah. All right, guys.